G'day, Grey Nomad here. A couple of weeks ago I suggested I might do an update on the solar system, and even though I don't think a whole lot's changed in the last year or so since I did the last update, we have done a couple of things, so I'll turn this camera around and we'll get into it. So one of the changes is that last week I bought another 12 solar panels. 13 in fact, but I can only use them in pairs, so one will be spare for the time being. That's them there just lying on the ground. They are not hooked up yet, and I'll get onto that in a minute, but this is what I'm probably going to do as a fixed array pointing towards the early morning sun. I might not know exactly which way that is. I know which direction it is, but I probably don't want to really mount those until next winter. Make sure I get the full value out of them. So there's 12 there. Over here we've got another 8. Now they are hooked up and have been for a year or so. I think they're going to wind up being pointed towards the afternoon sun. Although I still have in mind to use that stainless steel pipe there as a pedestal and make a rotating array. That's still a possibility, although it's a fair bit of engineering and I'm not sure I could be bothered. We've got about 37, or not about, we've got 37 solar panels at the moment. Plus another 10 on the truck up there that you can see in the distance, which aren't connected to the house at the moment, but they could be. And over here we have the 13th new solar panel, kind of acting as a placeholder for where I think those 8 we just saw will eventually go. They'll have to be tilted up in that direction towards the afternoon sun, and roughly, if we get in line with this, at about 315 degrees in the middle of winter, that's where the sun will be at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And the initial 12 panels that I showed you a minute ago, they're faced at about 90 degrees to that. They should be in the sun at about 9 o'clock in the morning. In the winter, anything before or after that, there's probably not much point worrying about it. Now I'm using that old drainage pipe there. That'll be his conduit, so the wires will go across through the ground. Come up to here. I just dug a hole here yesterday. There'll be a junction box here with all the terminations in it. I'm working on that at the moment in the workshop. And the wires go up here, they go past this mushroom which currently has 240 volts set to it and water. They go across the driveway, under what's supposed to be the garden, and into that shed, which is where the batteries and regulators and everything are. So we'll move into there. So here we are in the shed. Hasn't changed a whole lot since the last time I did this, but what I do have is a new inverter up there. That's supposed to be a backup inverter for the main one, but that main one's getting a bit old now. I think I'm going to replace it with a larger version of that new one. Job yet to be done. 16 wet cell batteries. And up there I have water and a hose there so that I can fill the wet cells up. That's new. We've got battery chargers here, 2 there and a third one. I was going to have 3 the same, and I still may do, but I got that third one real cheap, so we'll see. There's one solar regulator, there's another one inside, and there's another one here that I just bought, and I've got yet another one on the way. There's only 3 of these left in Australia and I got 2 of them. So they're going to mount up there, and then running all the way through there, there'll be a couple of bus bars, because there's essentially 6 charging sources. And those bus bars and the other wiring will go through this cable duct in here. Up there there'll be isolation for the solar, and the solar will come in from the floor and down behind that panel. And of course eventually this sort of should be covered up, because there's quite a risk here of dropping having a dead short if you drop a spanner or something. There is provision to ventilate too. There'll be a fan blowing air through here, and it'll blow out through that hole just there. So the system's working pretty well. It's a bit of a dog's breakfast at the moment, but with all this cable ducting and the new bus bars and things, I think it'll look quite neat. That's how it stands today. I'm still waiting for stuff to come from eBay before I can get into this wiring and finish it off and maybe make it look a bit neater. And I think this inverter here, that came from the truck. I think it'll go back on the truck, or back in the truck rather. It's 25 years old now, so works just fine, but it's probably due to fail any day. Who knows? You never know with this stuff. That's about it. That's the current state of affairs. We've got another 10 panels on the truck. They'll never get hooked directly into here, but I might have them run into one of these battery chargers on an automatic switch. So at 1 o'clock in the morning or midnight, you can give a little bit of top up to these batteries. These batteries are 3 or 4 years old, I think. I went for wet cell because I'm kind of happy with the old technology, but also they're a lot cheaper. But I think by the time they die, I'll replace them with probably half as many lithiums. We'll see when the time comes. So a fair bit of wiring and a fair bit of cable management to be done here. But I think it'll look alright when it's all done. That's it for now then. Next one of these will probably be when I've got it mostly finished. So thanks for watching, and Grey Nomad out.